Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, all of you. How do you do all? Hello.
Yes, sir. We are good, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Very warm good morning to all of you. Now is the board visible to you properly?
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dia. Seeing you after a long time. So, we were reading the chapter that is Indigo. Yes or no? Remember?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Indigo. And yesterday, day before yesterday, the summary and the introduction of the chapter has been discussed with you. We had begun yesterday. Mukul read it for some time, Gracie read it, Prakshal read it, and now we continue today where we left last time. So Mukul was reading yesterday and he left. So Mukul, you tell the page number first to everybody where you had left.
On page number 48.
So all of you come to page number 48. And before we read on page number, let us discuss today's word. What is the word today? What is a new word for you? Yes, Aditya, what is the new word? I had sent it.
Sir, Levithan. Levithan.
Yes, so the word is Leviathan. Leviathan. And the meaning of the word is anything of immense size or immense power. Anything immense size, immense power. So that is the word Leviathan. And as we begin the chapter, yesterday also we had started. So Dia, you were not there yesterday. So just a quick recap for every one of you. We are reading a chapter about indigo, the story about indigo, the problem of farmers faced in Champaran, Bihar, Motihari, and there was a main farmer representative of all the other farmer. His name was Raj Kumar Shukla. And this person, Raj Kumar Shukla, was a very resolute, very determined, strong-willed, confident farmer. He went to Gandhiji to meet and to discuss the problem related to sharecropping. And the problem was that, according to an old agreement, Indian peasants had to grow 15% of their land with indigo, and they had to surrender complete crop 50%, 15% of crop to British landlords as a rent. But later on, Germany had developed synthetic indigo, and the price of indigo had fallen. Therefore, it was not required much. It was not profitable for the British. So they exempted Indian peasants from growing the crop of indigo, but they had asked them for a compensation. Many of them gave compensation and many denied. And Rajkumar Shukla was one of them who denied the compensation. Rather, he fought against this injustice, exploitation, and Gandhiji supported him. And from here, civil disobedience movement had started. Remember, civil disobedience was established here, started here for the first time by Mahatma Gandhi. And then later on, remaining there, helping them. Gandhiji helped the people of Champaran, Muzaffarpur, Bihar, Motiari, all this place, not only um, fighting against the discrimination or injustice or exploitation by British, but also he helped them growing economically, socially, politically, and he taught them a lesson in self-reliance. Self-reliance means believing in self, not depending on others, believing in self and depending on self, not for any injustice or exploitation or any fight going outside, going to outsiders. So Gandhiji had given the example of C.F. Andrew, who was influenced by Gandhiji very much, and some of the supporters of Gandhiji, those who were with Gandhiji, they had said that we can take help of this British man, and he can convince, he can persuade the British very well, because Britishers will understand the language of a British man. But Gandhiji said, no, this is our fight. We have to fight. We should not rely on others for our injustice, for our fight. Rather, we should fight our own fight. So this way, the chapter later on got over. Now let us come back to the reading where we left last time. And before that, let me ask you some questions which are given there in the bracket. Okay, before we read, I would ask you some questions, so be ready. So first question is for you, Prakshal. Prakshal, tell me, strike out what is not true in the following. Tell me which is not true from the four options. Rajkumar Shukla was a sharecropper, a politician, a delegate, a landlord. Strike out.
So he was a sharecropper.
So strike out what is not true. So he was a sharecropper. This is a false. What do you
So
say?
this is true. So he was not a politician.
Yes. So he was not a politician. He was not a politician. Remember, that is, so you have to strike out the false one. Strike out what is not true. That is the false one. Next, Rajkumar Shukla was poor. Second, physically strong. Third, illiterate. Yes. In second also you have to strike out what is not true. That means what is false. Yes, Gracie. Strike out which is false.
Sir, Rajkumar Shukla was a poor and an illiterate.
So that means he was not physically strong. Yes. So he was not physically strong. Okay. Next question. Why is Rajkumar Shukla described as being resolute? Why is Rajkumar Shukla described as being resolute? Yes, Mukul. What do you say, Mukul? Why he is described as being resolute? Mukul.
Sir, Rajkumar Shukla is described as being resolute because even after being told about the prior engagements of Gandhiji at Kanpur and other parts across the country, he was not quiet and he did not quit.
And
He continued to accompany Gandhi everywhere, and he also persistently asked Gandhi to fix a date for his visit to his native district of Champaran.
yes. So he followed Gandhiji wherever Gandhiji went, to Calcutta or to many other places, and for 1 week, at least for 1 week, he didn't leave Gandhiji, and Gandhiji said that he decided to go with Rajkumar Shukla, seeing his resolution and seeing his adamant nature. Why do you think the servants thought Gandhi to be another peasant? Answer, yes, Gracie. Why do you think the servants thought Gandhi to be another peasant? Yes, Gracie. Say, Gracie, you're raising the hand. Say.
Gandhiji always believed in simplicity, and his manners was also like that. Who cannot assume him anything else, he, and he come with a peasant too. So that servant thought that he would be another peasant.
Okay, so first thing is that Gandhiji had recently come from South Africa. He had fought there against discrimination or apartheid, but in India, it was not a long time he had spent it. So one of this reason, another reason is that Gandhiji dressed like an ordinary man, simple person, and the person Rajkumar Shukla who took Gandhiji to Dr. Rajendra Prasad's house, that servant knew Rajkumar Shukla to be a peasant. So he thought that Rajkumar Shukla has brought another peasant, another companion with him, because many often Rajkumar Shukla used to go to meet Dr. Rajendra Prasad for the case with other farmers. So therefore, it was presumed or it was believed that Gandhiji was also another peasant, right, Gracie? Now we continue reading it. So is reading? Raise your hand. Raise your hand who is going to read. One hand, that is Mukul and Prakshal and Gracie. Okay. So, but Gracie, yesterday also your voice got disconnected. Read louder and clear. Yes. Read, Gracie. Your voice should not get
Page
disconnected.
number.
Read.
So page number.
Page number was already announced. Where were you? It was already announced. That means you are not conscious, Gracie. You are not participating consciously. Your classmate, one of your classmates, he had said the page number and the paragraph.
Sir, I'm starting.
Okay.
Okay, sir, I got the line.
Okay, got it. Yes, read. I can tell you where we read yesterday. We read about Professor Malkani and Kriplani. Two persons, two government persons were there. So Gandhiji remained in the house of Professor Malkani, a teacher in the government school, and it was an extraordinary thing in those days. Gandhi commented, for a government professor to harbor a man like me.
May I start?
In smaller localities, the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for the advocates of home rule. So from here till here we had read. Yes, what do you mean by advocate of home rule? Advocate of home rule?
So who advocates home rule?
What is home rule?
Sir, I don't know.
Anybody else? Anyone else? What do you mean by advocate of home rule? Yesterday I had told you the meaning. It was extraordinary thing for a government teacher or professor to give shelter to an advocate of home rule. Yes. Any one of you? Chirag, Diya,
So may I
Mukul?
start?
No? Tell me the meaning of advocate of home rule. Chirag, Diya, Gorang, Soni,
Sir,
Harshi.
own rule.
Yes.
Means our own rule.
Yes. Advocate of home rule.
Sir, who opposed British?
Once again.
Sir, freedom fighters who opposed the British or
Who supports Swaraj?
Those who support Swaraj, those who support or those who oppose British government. Why do they oppose? For Swaraj, for their own rule. So they were advocate. Advocate means supporter. They were fighters. They were supporting home rule. Who? Gandhiji, Subhash Chandra Bose, Bhagat Singh, and all those leaders, martyrs. So that is the meaning of advocate. Advocate means supporter, helpers, fighters, and home rule means Swaraj, rule of self, not being ruled by others, but self rule in the country. Got it now, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You are in 12th class and you must have that much of sense, that much of comprehension power. You must be able to understand what is the meaning of advocate of home rule. Therefore, I say read the chapter. Read the chapter and understand the meanings of difficult words, new words. But I don't think any one of you do that. Okay, so do it from today onwards. Yes, Gracie. I hope you got sufficient time to practice reading. Yes, Gracie? Read louder and clear.
The news of Gandhi's advent and of the nature of his mission spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot and by conveyance to see their champion. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. They frequently represented peasant groups in court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their fee.
Okay?
Gandhi
Just wait. This is the description of the people. So when Gandhiji went there, reached there, the news of Gandhi's arrival spread and the people gathered there to support Gandhiji. Even the lawyers came there to brief Gandhiji. Brief means to advise, to tell him in detail what were the problem faced by the sharecroppers, farmers there in Champaran, Muzaffarpur, Motihari, and all those area. So they told him about their cases and reported the size of their fee. So some of the lawyers also said that we charge this much fee. We charge this particular fee for this case. So at this Gandhiji got angry and he shouted at the lawyers. He said, you are charging a very high amount of fee from the poor peasants, poor farmers. They are your fellow brothers. They are your members in the society. They are Indians and you are charging such a big amount of fee. You should be ashamed of. And at this, some of the lawyers, they felt embarrassed. Yes, continue.
Yes, so Gandhi chided the lawyers for collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. He said,
Chided.
I have
Chided means chided. C-H-I.
to scold.
Yes. So not cheated, chided. Okay. Shouted at them, scolded at them. Yes. Continue.
He said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to law courts. Taking such cases to the courts does little good. Where the peasant are so crushed and fear stricken, law courts are useless. The real relief from them is to be free from fear.
So the
Most of
real,
the
yes, the real freedom is freedom from fear, being free from fear. So Gandhiji said that we should stop taking all these kind of case to the court. Rather, we must fight it here in the society itself. And he said that the biggest problem is the fear. And you must get rid of the fear. The farmers are crushed, they are fear stricken of Britishers, British landlords, policemen, middlemen, rich people, all these lawyers, they are fear stricken for the money because any charge would be put on them. They would be asked to pay a big amount of fee. So therefore Gandhiji said that the biggest fear, the biggest relief for them is to get free from fear. Continue.
most of the arable land in the Champaran district was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. The chief commercial crop was indigo. The
Arable means
landlord,
fertilized. What is the meaning of arable?
the land which is suitable for growing crops.
Yes, fertile. So, which is a fruitful land, not a barren land, which is a fertile land, which gives good amount of crop. So, that is most of the arable land. It was under the British landlord and it was given on rent to the other people. Continue.
The landlords compelled all tenants to plant their 3/20ths or 15% of their holdings with indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent. This was done by long-term contract.
Okay, so that was the
Present
problem now. Remember, this is the problem. The Englishmen, Britishers, they owned the estate. They owned the fertile land and it was worked by Indian tenants. So tenant, you could say a small farmer, a very small farmer. You could say a labor. So the chief commercial crop was indigo and the landlords compel all the tenants to plant 3/20ths, that is 15% of their land holdings with indigo and surrendered the entire indigo harvest as rent. Did you watch the movie Mother India? I had told you yesterday. No?
No, sir.
Any other movie?
No, sir.
Any other movie related to farmings,
The
farmers?
Lagan,
Yes?
Lagan,
Yes, Lagan, very, very appropriate, very, very relevant. So, even there in Lagan, what did you see in the Lagan? Why there was a cricket match? Yes, Gracie. And there was the heroine, and the name of that heroine was also Gracie. Not Upadhyay, but Gracie. Some,
Sing.
Singh.
okay, yes. So, what was that story there?
They don't want to pay the high Lagan because
Yes.
Lagan was a rent, a kind of.
So whether they got crop or not, in the movie you might have seen whether the farmers, those who had grown something in their field, whether they got good crop or not. If it was only one sack of rice or one sack of wheat, then also they had to give that whatever the amount was decided by the Britishers. If it was decided for two sack of rice, so even if they produce one sack, they would have to borrow money or they would have to borrow some sacks of rice from here and there and they would have to pay to the British. So that was the problem. Then only that story of match and all those things took place. So here also it was something like that. Continue.
Yes.
Continue.
Presently, the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. They thereupon obtained agreements from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% arrangement. The sharecropping arrangement was irksome to the peasants, and many signed willingly. Those who resisted engaged lawyers. The landlords hired thugs. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants who had signed, and they wanted their money back.
Okay,
As the
so
point,
the sharecropping arrangement was irksome. Irksome means difficult. It was a problematic thing for the farmer. So therefore, many of the peasants, many of the farmers, they signed willingly. They said, okay, we want to get exemption from growing the crop of indigo, and they signed willingly. Those who resisted, they hired the lawyers. They had to pay huge amount of fees to the lawyers. And some of the landlords, they hired thugs. Thugs means goons. And they went and threatened the farmers to sign, as you watch it in the Bollywood movie. Then, meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants. Now, when all this thing was going on, so even the illiterate peasants, they got the information, they got the news that since Germany has developed synthetic indigo, therefore they are giving us exemption. There is no profit in getting exemption from it. If they want to give us exemption, they should give it willingly. Why they are charging money? Why they are asking for compensation? So that was their problem. If the British landlord do not want us to grow the indigo crop, then they should release us. But it is a kind of cheating, since it is not sold in the market, since Germany has developed it. Therefore, they are giving an excuse and telling that we are exempting you. So this is how many of the farmers got together and they got ready to fight against this injustice. Continue.
At this point, Gandhi arrived in Champaran. He began by trying to get the facts. First, he visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association. The secretary told him that they could give no information to an outsider. Gandhi answered that he was no outsider. Next, Gandhi called on the British official commissioner of the Tirhut division in which the Champaran district lay. The commissioner, Gandhi reports.
Okay, so it is mentioned here already. I told you that Gandhiji, he met in Champaran the secretary of Bihar Landlord Association, but he was not given the information. So Gandhiji thought of collecting some more data, some more information. He thought that Rajkumar Shukla, he is an illiterate peasant, he cannot provide me all the data, all the information which I require. So he went and wanted to inquire from the secretary of the British Landlord Association, but he was denied the inquiry. He was denied information. It was said that you are an outsider. You are not from Bihar. You are from Gujarat, and how you are moving here and coming. And then later on, Gandhiji also went and met the commissioner of Tirut. Tirut is the name of the place. So Gandhiji also went and met the commissioner of Tirut division. He discussed the problem with the commissioner also, but still he did not get proper reply. And Gandhiji reports proceeded to bully me and advise me forthwith to leave Turin. So what was the consequence of this? Consequence was that the commissioner and other authority, they started building pressure on Gandhiji to leave Tirut, to leave that entire area, to quit the place. Yes, clear till here. Everybody has understood everything.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, continue, Gracie.
Gandhi did not leave. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Several lawyers accompanied him. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted Gandhi. He went to a house and, using it as headquarters, continued his investigations. A report came in that a peasant had been maltreated in a nearby village. Gandhi decided to go and see. The next morning, he started out on the back of an elephant. He had not proceeded far when the police
Okay, yes.
superintendent's messenger.
So Gandhiji did not leave. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. And many lawyers and many supporters, many people accompanied Gandhiji. They supported Gandhiji. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted. Multitude means a big crowd. Remember, multitude means big crowd. He went to a house and, using it as headquarters, continued his investigation. So Gandhiji, he settled in one of the house and he started inquiry. A report came in that, and there was a news that a peasant had been maltreated, misbehaved, beaten up badly, and Gandhiji went with the supporters, with the companion, to see the condition of that person. And when he was on his way, he was given a summon. He was given a notice by the commissioner to quit the place. Gandhiji decided to go and see. The next morning, he started out on the back of an elephant. He had not proceeded far when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and ordered him to return to the town. Yes, got it, everybody? Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just let me ask you some question which has already been discussed in the paragraphs we read, and then we shall continue after this. So listen very carefully, all of you. Yes. List the places that Gandhi visited between his first meeting with Shukla and his arrival at Champaran. Once again, I repeat, list the places that Gandhi visited between his first meeting with Shukla and his arrival at Champaran. So, which are the places Gandhiji went? Which was the place where Gandhiji met Rajkumar Shukla first time? So, the hand raised by Mukul. Yes, Mukul. Mukul.
Sir, Gandhiji first met Rajkumar Shukla at Lucknow.
Okay.
Then he was in Kanpur and other parts of India.
Yes.
He returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Later, he visited Calcutta, Patna, and Muzaffarpur before arriving at Champaran.
Very good. Did you miss anything, Gracie?
No, sir.
All right. All the places he said? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What did the peasants pay the British landlord as rent? Answer, Gracie. What did the peasants pay British landlord as rent? Yes, Gracie.
Yes, sir. So peasants were forced to plant indigo on the 15% of their land holdings, and then entire indigo harvest and was paid to the British as rent.
Okay. Okay. So
And then
50% of the complete indigo crop as a rent. Yes. Prakshal, what did the British now want instead and why? What did the British want now and why? Yes, Prakshal. Prakshal is not sitting with her mic. It seems it's not showing. Yes. Yes, Mukul, you say. Mukul, what did the peasants, next question. What did the British now want instead and why? Yes, Mukul.
Some British landlords wanted money as compensation for being released from the natural arrangement.
Why?
Sir, for being released from natural arrangement.
Yes, yes. And because they had got the information that Germany had developed synthetic indigo and their indigo would not be given a proper price. It is no more a profitable crop for them now. So therefore, they had asked for the money. What would be the impact of synthetic indigo on the prices of natural indigo? So answer of this question has been already given by me, but still I would like to ask Chirag Meena. Yes, Chirag, I repeat the question for you. What would be the impact of synthetic indigo on the prices of natural indigo? Yes, Chirag, answer.
So what have you said in the last?
You say you should know what I have said.
No sir, आपकी आवाज last में कट गई थी इसलिए.
Okay.
I have heard the question, but the last part is not clear.
I repeat the question for you, and the question is, what would be the impact of synthetic indigo on the prices of natural indigo? Got the answer?
Yes sir.
Where did you get Google?
Sir,
Did you Google it?
no sir.
Then
No,
you
no
get
sir.
some more time. You asked me to repeat the question I had already said twice, and you asked me one more time. I read it very slowly for you because I knew that you were searching for the answer. And
No, no sir. I don't cheat.
okay, no, I'm not saying you are cheated. I'm just saying that you are taking help from here and there. Okay, yes, say answer, Chirag.
So the prices of the indigo will raise?
No, sir. Natural indigo prices will fall.
So that therefore you should have also studied little bit of economics, commerce, and I know that you know a little bit of commerce, that much you can understand. So what would be the impact of synthetic indigo on the prices of natural? See, whatever is natural thing, it is always costly. Natural things are costlier than the artificial ones. Do you agree or not?
Agree, sir.
Yes, natural things are costlier. So therefore, it was developed synthetically, and when it was developed synthetically, naturally the natural indigo would be sold for the less price here, because everybody would require for the cheaper one. Everybody likes to buy goods for cheap price. So if the British landlord keep the high price, it won't be sold in the market. So therefore, instead of doing the business, they thought of giving exemption and earning the money that way. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is. Now we continue where we left. So anybody who would like to read, we should give some rest to Gracie. Upadhyay, she would be thinking that I've been tired.
Sir.
Yes, not tired of reading?
No, sir.
Okay, so Mukul has raised his hand. If I don't give him chance, he may feel bad. So let us give chance to Mukul. Yes, Mukul, continue where Gracie left last time from there.
Sir, he had not proceeded far when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and ordered him to return to town in his carriage. Gandhi complied. The messenger drove Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. In consequence, Gandhi received a summons to appear in court the next day.
So
All night, Gandhi.
just a minute. Gandhiji received the notice and he said that he also signed it legally, and he said that I would disobey. I will not obey you. Who are you to command me in my own country? This is my land. These are my people, my country. How can somebody, how can other command me in my own country? So therefore he said, I would disobey. As a consequence, Gandhiji received a summon to appear in the court the next day. What is a summon? What is a summon? Niman?
Notice, legal notice.
A legal notice sent by the lawyers or the court for being present before the magistrate or the court. Yes, so what happened next now? Continue.
All night, Gandhi remained awake. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. He sent instructions to the ashram. He wired a full report to the viceroy. Morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. They did not know Gandhi's record in South Africa. They had merely heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authorities. Their spontaneous demonstration in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from fear of the British.
Yes, what
The
happened?
official
Yes, just a minute. Yes, Gracie, what happened when Gandhiji was given the summon? What happened next day? Yes, Gracie. How did Gandhi plan? What were the plannings by Gandhi, and what happened the next day?
So someone told Gandhiji that there's an official order that you have to come quit the Champaran.
He telegraphed Dr. Rajendra Prasad and his influential friend to come and support him, to come next day and support. He wired the viceroy. Who is a viceroy? Who is viceroy? So, if you don't know, you check today who is viceroy, who is in charge.
Viceroy was like a president If we compare today with that time, so president is like a viceroy.
So he was Britishers in